Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about grass identification. And really here in the Midwest are three primary species that give us the most trouble, or probably the more common ones are either giant, green, or yellow foxtail. I had a couple examples here I thought I'd show you today because I thought this was an interesting little clump that I found together. And it's pretty easy to identify these foxtail species when they're headed out. And that becomes it's a key way to identify them, but unfortunately it does us no good early in the season when they're, need to be sprayed or taken care of. Late season is helpful to determine maybe next year's herbicide program or know when you have where you have a specific weed problem. But anyway, so when you're looking at the vegetative properties of the plant, I can tell by looking at it right here, and I know you're not going to be able to see it from probably the video at this distance, but we're going to drop in a macro link here with a close-up showing there's a series of really long hairs on this plant, and it's right at the axis, the leaf axis. And I don't know, like I said, you've got a bad background here, but I can see them plain as day. These are at least a 1/4 inch long hairs, scraggly looking things. That tells me this is yellow foxtail. And our friends up in the South Dakota would probably call it pigeon grass. So that's kind of a common name that you'll hear growers refer to it as. And that's one that's a little tough for some of the Group 1 herbicides to control. It's not as easily to control as some of the other foxtail species. The other one is giant, which I already showed you the seed head on that one. But again, there's multiple plants mixed in here without heads. And the way we identify giant is you need to get in the right sunlight and roll the leaf surface kind of at the horizon between some nice dark background and your eye, right at eye level. And what we're looking for is a series of fine hairs right on that upper leaf surface. Nothing on the bottom. They're clean that way. So those are the three, or the easy things to identify those two species, just vegetatively. All you gotta do is long scraggly hairs. You've got yellow foxtail. This upper leaf surface is more than likely going to be giant foxtail. The one we're missing, green foxtail, has neither. It is, clean as green is the old rhyme that weed scientists use. It does not have any surface hairs on the leaf. It doesn't have those long hairs in the leaf axis. And it'll oftentimes mimic giant late season. Giant is called giant for a reason. It gets a little bigger. And you'll notice the seed head, when it does come out, will become seed-laden, and it will roll over or tip over at a 45-degree angle. If you have a yellow foxtail head, it'll be very short and bristly, and they'll be about this size, and they won't even think about bending because they will be too stiff to bend over. And the seeds on those are rather large. And then green foxtail, in a lot of cases, will be a smaller, slightly smaller head than what's on a giant foxtail. But there's a subspecies of green called purple robust, which will have a beautiful purple-colored pubescence on these seed head, and that is most likely going to be robust purple, which is a form of green. If you strip it down and look for those leaf hairs, you won't see any of those. But that is very difficult to make out or differentiate from normal green foxtail in the vegetative time frame. So there you have it. Easy weed ID for foxtail species.